All right, but Mr. Harihar was talking about Brexit, and that's one development that the world is going to be looking at. 7 p.m. as per London time is when Theresa May's first draft, or should I say second draft, for the Brexit deal is going to be coming on the Parliament. Remember that in December as well, the bill had been put forward. However, she had pulled it back after she believed that it's not going to be able to pass the muster. 29th March is when Britain's departure from the European Union is set. That's when Article 50 will be invoked. However, as things stand currently, it looks like Theresa May still be facing the worst government defeat in 95 years, as at least 70 of her own Conservative Party members are publicly pledged to join opposition members of the Parliament in voting against her Brexit deal. The key question, of course, at this point in time, with respect to the portion that they're unhappy with, is around the Ireland backstop agreement with the EU. Now, if this does happen, if the deal is rejected, and it looks like that's going to be the case, there are a couple of options at this point of time. There could be some inter-party or cross-party compromise that may take place. The second one is, and the Labour Party has already said this, that they are going to call for a no confidence vote against the government. And remember, Theresa May has already survived one such vote earlier in December. Theresa May also head back to Brussels again in order to secure further concessions from the EU on parts of the deal with respect to the Irish backstop. And finally, a more longer term solution, a second referendum to essentially understand the mood of the country, as Mr. Harihar as well put it. This is, of course, only if a parliamentary deadlock cannot be broken, because both the parties have said that they do not want to go in for a second referendum. However, on a worst case basis, that may be something we're staring at. And of course, not to mention, I think at this point, both parties are bracing themselves for a delay from the 29th March deadline. Alistair Newton from Malavan Business Advisory believes investors will wait to see the outcome of Brexit, and that hard Brexit is a default action. Listen in.
If the vote against the government to the margin is less than 100, and I'm picking that number not quite at random, then I suspect that May will try to bring her current deal back to the House next week. But if she goes over 100, I think she's got a big problem, not least because the House has passed an amendment last week, which means that the government has to come back with a plan B no later than next Monday. My sense is that investors will probably largely hold off to see what happens in the next 3 working days. What comes back next Monday is the big unknown at this stage, and I don't think investors are going to overreact until they get a sense of what is going to happen there. Somebody has to do something to prevent a hard Brexit from happening. And given that the House is clearly very divided indeed on other available options, other types of deal, the Norway solution, having another referendum and so on, it's not clear how you get a majority quickly for an alternative to a hard Brexit. So you do have to take the hard Brexit possibility very, very seriously indeed at this stage.